You know, when we picture a group of people really connecting, we usually think of some powerful emotion, right? The incredible joy of a concert, or maybe the shared fear during a crisis. It's a synchronization you can actually feel. But what if there's another way we connect? A much quieter way? Today, we're going to explore this fascinating idea that the deepest kind of collective resonance isn't based on a shared feeling at all, but on a shared structure of awareness. Okay, so let's just dive right into the central puzzle here. We're often taught that empathy, feeling with someone, is the absolute peak of connection. But the framework we're looking at today kind of flips that whole idea on its head. It asks a pretty challenging question. What if that intense pressure to all feel the same thing is actually what prevents the most stable, most profound kind of alignment between us? It's a bold thought, for sure, so let's unpack how it's supposed to work. So first, let's start with what we all recognize, that powerful emotional current. This is when a feeling just rips through a group like a wave, and pretty much everyone gets synchronized almost instantly. It's powerful, it's undeniable, and it often drives these huge social moments.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, this contrast between two ways of getting on the same page. On one side, you've got collision. That's the flash of intense emotion, a shocking news story, a viral video. It forces everyone to update their thinking immediately, and that creates a lot of friction, a lot of social pressure. It's super fast and powerful, but it's also really unstable. It always needs another external trigger to keep it going. But then, on the other side, there's a much calmer path, a gentle, continuous inquiry that lets us align without all that backlash.
So, if that whole collision route is so volatile, what's the alternative? Well, the thinking here points to a path that has almost no pressure. And the key to unlocking it is a concept called the gradient. And this is a brilliant way to picture it. Think of a gradient like the slope of a hill. A really steep gradient is like a cliff. It's a sudden, jarring change that forces you to react. It's a collision. A gentle gradient, though, that's more like a slow, walkable slope. It doesn't force you, it just invites you along. This gentle inquiry gradient, which can be as simple as an open question, creates the space for change without any coercion. It's a way to get things moving without the pain of a big impact. Okay, let's see how this builds to a really crucial distinction. Once you grasp the idea of the gradient, you can start to pull apart two ideas we often just lump together, alignment and conformity. That steep gradient, the cliff, that tends to create conformity, but the gentle gradient, the slope, that's what makes true alignment possible. Structurally, they're worlds apart.
So here's the bottom line. Conformity is all about the pressure to share an emotion. It's that feeling that you have to be angry, or you have to be happy, or outraged, right along with the group if you want to belong. It's agreement that's born from force.
Alignment, on the other hand, is totally different. It's not about feeling the same thing, it's about seeing from the same place. Imagine a group of people standing in a circle, and they're all looking at the same sculpture in the middle. They share a perspective, right? A shared observational stance. But nobody's telling them how to feel about the art. They're simply sharing a vantage point.
And all of this finally brings us to the very heart of this idea, a unique state of collective consciousness called the point of symmetry. This is the space where that quiet, stable connection, what's being called natural resonance, can actually emerge.
This quote just nails the entire concept. It suggests that our highest point of connection isn't some loud, explosive moment of shared feeling. Nope. Instead, it's found in a moment of profound quiet. A point where all the noise between us, the judgments, the expectations, the pressure, it all just becomes transparent. It's about clarity over intensity. So, what exactly defines this state? What does it feel like? Well, when that emotional pressure fades, it's like a huge weight is just lifted off your shoulders. When interference becomes transparent, you can see others clearly, without the filter of your own biases. When claims and evaluations decrease, conversation stops being a battle to be right. In this state, it doesn't matter so much what you're talking about, but that you're all observing it from the same structural place. That right there, that's natural resonance.
Now, this might all seem a bit philosophical, but it has massive practical implications for how we design our world. Everything from our institutions and our meeting rooms to the artificial intelligence we're building right now.
So how do we actually build systems that encourage this? Let's look at these principles. First, avoiding emotional amplification. Imagine a social media feed that's designed not to show you the most outrageous content, but the most reflective. Second, preserving our cognitive spare capacity. This means creating spaces, both online and off, that aren't a constant fire hose of information. Spaces that actually give our minds room to breathe. And finally, practicing non-interference, especially with AI.
This suggests an AI that acts less like a persuasive agent trying to get you to buy something or think something, and more like a clear mirror, just helping you see your own thoughts without distortion.
And so, we end up with the essential question this whole framework leaves us with. In a world that seems to run on high emotion, high collision fuel, is another mode of connection even possible? Can we learn to value the quiet alignment of perspective, of phase, as much as we value the loud agreement of feeling? The question is left open for all of us to consider.